Irrigation. As you know, all living things need water. All living beings need water to live. Water is very important for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, and seeds of plants. In order for a plant to grow properly, water is needed. Now, water is absorbed by the roots of the plant. Along with the water, minerals and fertilizers that are present in the soil, they are also absorbed. The nutrients that are present in the soil are also absorbed along with water by the plants through the roots. Water is essential for the germination of the seeds because germination does not take place in the dry seeds. If the seed is dry, does germination take place? No, you have to soak the seeds first. So water is needed for the germination of the seeds also. To maintain the moisture of the soil and for a healthy crop, the fields have to be watered regularly. In a regular manner, the fields have to be watered. Watered means given water. Now, the supply of water to crops at regular intervals, that is called as irrigation. So, in the fields, the water is provided to the plants in a regular manner. At regular intervals, the field will be watered, and that is called as irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation will vary from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. Like in rainy seasons, the plants, there is no need to irrigate them, right? There is no need to water them in a daily manner. Whenever there is no rain only, water is needed. And it also varies from crop to crop. Like paddy plants, they need a lot of water. While some other plants, they won't need as much water. So, depending on the variety of the crop, depending on the soil and depending on the season, the time and frequency of irrigation will be changing. Now, the sources of irrigation, they are the wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams and canals. These are the various sources of irrigation. Now, just like in all the other agricultural practices, there are some traditional methods of irrigation and some modern methods. The traditional methods of irrigation, what are they? The water that is available in the wells, lakes and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking it to the fields. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods. So either cattle are used to take water from the well or human beings will do it. These methods are cheaper but less efficient. So even though cost is less for these methods, they are very less efficient. The traditional methods may be moat, that is a pulley system. You have seen the pulleys, right? Using a pulley, you can draw water from the well. Now, there is a pulley system and there is the chain pump system. The pumps, they are commonly used for lifting water. As you know, it's a motor, a pump that is used for lifting water. Diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy will be used to run these pumps. Pumps can run using diesel or electricity or even solar energy. Now comes the modern methods of irrigation. First one is the sprinkler system. And this system is more useful on uneven land where sufficient water is not available. Where the land is uneven, the sprinkler system is used. Now in sprinkler system, what is done? Perpendicular pipes will be laid up. And they will be having a nozzle on top. You can see here. The pipes, they will be laid like this. And from these pipes, what will be there? Some pipes will be coming up. They will be having rotating nozzles on the top. These nozzles will rotate. They are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. So, from main pipeline, perpendicular pipes will be coming up and they will be joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. And at the top, what will be there? There will be rotating nozzles. The nozzles will rotate. Karangam. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. So, it will come out and it will sprinkle the crop as if it is raining. മഴ പെയ്യുന്നത് പോലെ അങ്ങ് വെള്ളം വീഴും. So the sprinkler is useful for lawns, coffee plantation and several other crops. Now next is the drip system. In the drip system, what happens? The water will fall drop by drop directly near the roots. So it is called as a drip system. So as you can see here, a tube is going and the water will be falling directly near the roots of the plant. So this is called as a drip system. Now this is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. Because in this system what happens, water is not wasted at all. In the sprinkler system, the water will be sprayed in all the directions and there will be wastage of water. While in the drip system, only near the roots water is coming. So what will happen? There will be no wastage of water. Now the water that is available in the wells, lakes and canals are lifted by different methods in the different regions. So the methods that were used for taking water, the methods of irrigation that were used in the earlier years, they are called as the traditional methods of irrigation. And this method, even though it is cheaper than the modern methods, they are not as efficient. They require animal or human labor to function. So now this is a moat system or a pulley system of irrigation. Here you can see a pulley. This is the pulley. And this involves pulling up water from a well using a pulley. And in this method, it is extremely time consuming and also labor intensive method. And a lot of water is also wasted in this method. So this is the moat system or the pulley system. And next comes the chain pump system. In the chain pump, it consists of two large wheels. You can see one large wheel here, another will be inside the water. Another wheel will be inside the water. So there are two large wheels and they are connected by a chain. There are buckets attached to the chain. And one part of the chain will dip into the water source, and as the wheel turns, what will happen? The bucket will pick up water. And the chain will later lift them, and here the water will be poured. And the empty buckets will be going back inside. Now this is the chain pump system. And this is the Dekli system. Now the Dekli system is also used to draw water from a well, and instead of a pulley, what is used here is a rope and a bucket. Is tied to a pole or a long stick. A rope and a bucket is tied to a long stick. At the other end of the stick, there will be a heavy object. So here you can see the bucket that is tied with the help of a rope to the stick, and on this side there will be a heavy weight or an object. This is used as a counterbalance and it is used to pull water from the well. So just like a seesaw you can say it. It goes up and down. And next comes the Rahat system. In the Rahat system, this uses animal labor. Here the animal is attached to a wheel. It is tied to a wheel. It will be an ox or a buffalo. And it will turn a wheel, as a result of which water will be drawn from the well. These are all traditional methods of irrigation, and these are time consuming, and a lot of water will be wasted also in this method. Now here there are some pumps. These are also used for obtaining water from the wells. And the pumps, they are commonly used for lifting water. They can be diesel pumps or electricity driven pumps or even solar energy driven pumps. Now next comes the modern method of irrigation. Now this is the sprinkler system of irrigation. Now the sprinkler system, it is just like water raining. Okay, it is just like raining. The water will be carried by pipes. Now these pipes, they will be carrying water from far off places, and it will be sprinkled in the field just like rain, as you can see here. So it will be sprinkled. It is just like a shower that you use for a bath. Okay, it is just like a shower. But what happens here also is that a lot of water will be wasted in the sprinkler system, because it is just like a shower. It will spread the water in all the places, and it will be a lot of water will be wasted in this system. Now next comes the drip system, and this is a commonly used method of irrigation nowadays. Now here pipes are laid in neat rows near the plants. Now you can see the pipes here, the plants are here. And here what happens? See, you can see water is dripping only where the plants are. The water will be dripping only on the roots. So water seeps from the holes in the pipes, and drop by drop it is dripping onto the roots of the plant. Now this is an extremely efficient method of irrigation, because there is no or less water wastage in this method of irrigation. Protection from weeds. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. What is a crop? When plants of the same kind are cultivated in one place on a large scale, that is called as a crop. When plants of the same kind are cultivated in a place, then it is called as a crop. And along with the crop, many other undesirable plants will grow. For example, take a paddy field. As you know, in a paddy field, the farmers will be growing rice plants. So if there are any plants that are growing along with the rice plants, any other plants, then they are called as weeds. Any plant that is not a rice plant, when it is growing in a paddy field, it is a weed. And these undesirable plants, they are removed, and this is called as weeding. The removal of the weeds is called as weeding. Why is weeding necessary? Why is it important? Because weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space and light. The farmer will be adding fertilizers, manures, and he'll be irrigating his field so that his rice plants can grow very nicely and give him a very good yield. But what will happen is that the weeds will compete with the crop plants, and they will take all the nutrients and the water. So what will happen? This will affect the growth of the crop plants. When they are competing, the weeds will be taking the nutrients and the water, and as a result of which they will affect the growth of the crop plants. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting. Uprooting means taking it along with the root. The whole plant is taken along with the root. And killing of weeds, which may then dry up and get mixed with the soil. So the whole plant is taken along with the roots, and it is dried up along with the soil so that it will become a natural manure. So this is usually done before the sowing of the seeds. While the field is tilled, the weeds will be uprooted. But what happens when the weeds are coming after sowing of the seeds? Then they will be removed manually, and the manual removal is done with the help of a kurpi, which is a tool. The tool is kurpi, and manual removal is done with the help of a kurpi. Now the best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. The weeds, they are removed before they produce flowers and seeds. Now weeds, they can also be controlled by using certain chemicals. These chemicals that are used to control the weeds, they are called as weedicides. For example, 2,4-D is a chemical. It is a weedicide. And these are sprayed in the field to kill the weeds. These will be sprayed in the field so that they will kill the weeds. So what happens to the crop plants? The crop plants are not harmed by the spraying of these weedicides. They do not damage the crops, because the farmer will know what type of weedicide to spray so that his crop won't get damaged. He will spray specific weedicides which will only kill the weeds that are growing along with his crops. Now the weedicides will be diluted with water and then sprayed. But this weedicide, it will affect the health of the farmers. While he is spraying, it may get into his lungs. So it will affect the health of the farmers. So while the farmers are spraying the weedicides, where they are spraying the chemicals, they should use it very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth. So here you can see the farmer spraying the weedicide, and he has covered his mouth and face. He is also wearing protective overalls. and gloves also. So he has to take the necessary precautions while he is spraying weedicides.